What statistically improbable thing happened to you? Riding my bicycle on a commercial fishing pier as a kid, I lost control and rode off the edge with a 20 drop to exposed rocks at low tide. I tried to stop myself going over by planting my feet on the edge of the pier, but I knew my bike was too heavy. Somehow the bike stopped, halfway over at a 45-degree angle. However, now the seat was in the small of my back, preventing me from getting off, and I couldn't budge it at all to get the bike back up. A fisherman finally ran over to help me, and we decided he would pull me as hard as he could and I'd let the bike fall. I jumped to the side as he pulled me back to the pier, and it worked. However, my bike was still there, not moving at all. When I examined what had happened, there was a piece of rebar sticking out from the edge of the pier, bent upwards in an L shape, and it passed diagonally through the spokes of my front tire and completely wedged my bike in place. It was the only spot on the 300-long pier with anything sticking out. I most certainly did not stop myself and my bike from going over. Back in community college, people thought I was dead for half a day. I was supposed to meet a friend on campus to go eat. I was running late because my dad wanted me to do something before I left. I don't remember what. I get to campus and there's this fountain, the kind you can walk through or run about and avoid sprays of water. Around the whole fountain is a bunch of police tape. So I kind of think, huh, okay, weird. Then I go to the building where my friends hang out. As I walk in behind one of them, I hear them telling everyone else I killed myself that morning. Turns out that a guy matching my physical description killed himself in the fountain. Between that and what he'd said to someone before doing it, along with my appalling lack of punctuality, everyone thought it was me. I always thought the Mark Twain quote of "the reports of my death are greatly exaggerated" was badass, but I had never thought I'd have the opportunity to use it. While attempting to get medical treatment, the doctor's office ran a pharmacy report on my medical history and prescriptions. My terminally ill brother, whose full name was only 2 letters different from mine and we had the same address and phone number, was on a shitload of narcotics at the time, and through their search they pulled up his report and thought it was mine. They yelled at me and kicked me out of the office, saying I was just looking for drugs. I was mortified and very upset, and they wouldn't listen to me when I said it was my brother and not me. I ended up calling the pharmacy board, and they called the doctor and explained that since we had the same address, phone number, and an extremely similar name, they had to search by social security number. The doctor felt horrible and gave me free treatment, and now he tells that story at conferences he goes to. It was crazy. Not me, but a friend. He was a merchant mariner. Lived here in Virginia Beach. He was always calling and texting, posting pics from around the world. One time he'd been out a while, we knew he was heading to Dubai, but didn't know where he'd be after that. 4 months go by, nobody's heard from him. His neighbor, who I was friends with, gets married and goes to Thailand for his honeymoon. He texted me one day and said, "You aren't gonna believe this shit." He said he asked a local where a good local spot to eat was that tourists wouldn't be at. Guy takes him 30 minutes from the beach, to some dive bar/restaurant with no sign, no clearly marked entrance. He said it looked so shady he was afraid he was about to be robbed and killed. He goes in, and it's a legitimate restaurant. He eats, drinks some beers, goes to the bathroom. Out walks my friend, so he took a pic and sent it to me to confirm he's okay. Imagine taking a flight several thousands of miles away, getting away from the tourist areas and going into a local dive bar, and running into your fucking next door neighbor you haven't seen in months. Shit's wild. I have all 10 childhood aces. I have grandparents' suicides on both sides. I have drug addicts on both sides, severe mental illness on both sides. Somehow I didn't end up dead, commit suicide, overdosed, in a ditch, or without any technical extreme mental illness. I like to think video games and music keep me away from that stuff. Despite what my elementary school and middle school teachers might have believed. I got a college degree in aerospace engineering, one of the hardest degree programs from a semi-decent school. Pretty much beat every statistic in regard to my early childhood outcomes. Make no mistake, all the stuff I went through has left me emotionally crippled, but I mostly get by. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's read this. I really appreciate all the kind words. Also, I'm by no means thriving. It's a constant battle every single day to pick myself up and get up. My son used the headrest to break a window to pull 3 children out of cars in 2 different accidents, both driven by women in, 6 children in total, exactly 3 months apart. The first accident occurred one day after he filmed Stop the Bleed training available through a local hospital. The first accident caused by speed and the SUV flipped on its roof right in front of him, and he also got the mom out. The second one caused by a man who fell asleep coming home from third shift and crossed a double yellow and hit a woman head-on taking her 3 kids to school. The woman needed the jaws of life to be extracted, and after getting her kids out, my son checked the male driver for trauma/bleeding and held his hand until EMTs could get there. The man was life-flighted to the hospital. While my son was tending to him, the local fire department arrived and took off the side view mirror of my son's car that was off the road. Skeptical, my son is convinced that he will have to help others out of their cars in more accidents. I keep telling him that this is not common for a civilian. Super thankful he saw the training on what to do.